speed, and glory. Loss and memory. Those are what he chases and what he carries.
2025 was a very trying year. How am I going to respond to this? Do I respond by going in a corner and shriveling up, or do I just come out and say, I'm tougher because of this?
Long before the last year, before Denny Hamlin ever climbed into the number 11 car, the journey to Daytona started with a dream backed by his father, Dennis.
I wrote an essay when I was 8 years old in second grade saying my dream is to win the Daytona 500. My dad's role essentially was earning a really hard living to make sure that he could support his son's dream. My parents opened up every credit card that came in the mail, second, third mortgaging the house. There was many times that I heard one saying we gotta quit, the other saying we can't afford it, and one saying just give them one more race.
There would be many more races and many victories. 60 Cup Series wins.
Here they come to the line.
3 Daytona 500s.
We got it! Yeah!
And Dennis Hamlin never stopped supporting the dream and pushing his son.
Biggest dream we've ever have come true. And really worked hard and sacrificed a lot. But Denny didn't just take himself to the top. He took his mom and dad with him.
Last year, as his son was vying to win his first Cup Series Championship, Dennis's health was in steep decline due to a chronic lung condition.
My dad was fighting late-stage COPD, and he essentially had not much lung capacity left. I knew that last year was going to be it. I knew that the time was really, really limited. This was my last opportunity.
Go, 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 go. Denny Hamlin led 208 of the 319 laps.
Agonizingly, Denny would finish runner-up in the championship standings.
And has had yet another championship slip away from him.
In December, less than 2 months later, life changed forever.
I got a call from my sister that said that the parents' house is on fire. And she said, the whole house is gone. My mom took him from the bedroom to the outside on the front yard. I was just driving so fast to try to get there, and they said that they had already been taken to a hospital. What made it real for me was seeing my dad. When I saw him, laying there, after he had passed, I just, I knew that it was real in that moment. And obviously I, saw how burned he was. And, at that time, I felt for my mom. She saw it all firsthand.
In the house his son had bought for his parents, Dennis Hamlin died from the injuries he sustained in the fire. He was 75 years old. Denny's mother, Mary Lou, survived and continues to recover. Denny eventually returned to the home site, combed through the ashes, and made a discovery.
There was nothing left of the house. The only thing we actually could find that was salvageable was a journal that my dad has been writing in for the last year. It's a book about Grandpa. It goes from everything from his favorite foods to what he wants us to do after he's gone. It's everything.
Loss and memory. Speed and glory. As Denny Hamlin returns to Daytona, he pushes for victory, but also drives to honor the man who first believed in his dream.
When he crossed that checkered line, my wife and I were standing there, and both of us were crying. Biggest dream we've ever have come true.
I feel confident he's with his best friend George up there in heaven, and one of his last requests was to get buried in one of my t-shirts. And so him and George now are going to be watching me on Sunday race for another Daytona 500.
We thank Denny Hamlin for sharing with us this week the way that he did. There was an enormous outpouring from the NASCAR community in the wake of his father's passing, but in particular, Denny singled out Joe Gibbs, who said he had visited with Dennis Hamlin over the last year trying to strengthen Dennis in his faith and his connection to God. He also said Joe Gibbs beat him to the hospital that night in December. As for his mother, Mary Lou, we're happy to tell you she continues in her recovery, and as Denny described, he hopes the best healing she can get is being here at this Daytona 500 with the rest of his family, spending time with him, planning to watch it in the family team bus, and hoping that her son can earn yet another Daytona 500 title. Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Tom, and nice to see her out here. Tom mentioned Joe Gibbs. You also, when you lose somebody close to you, unexpected, certainly Michael Jordan, who lost his father, is the right kind of guy to have for support other than his own family for Denny Hamlin. How does he move forward, and how will you be watching him today?
Well, obviously we all have questions, but the thing that we know about Denny Hamlin is he's always motivated by the controversy or the devastation or anything that's been around him. This guy has an incredible capacity to just block things out, and as a driver, there's no better place to be than in the seat of what you love to do inside that race car.
He told me once, like Kobe Bryant, when all around him is going crazy, the best place for him to be is doing his job, being behind the wheel, driving his car and his Toyota.